Okay. So this is Corsair Link, and what Corsair Link does is it gives you control over your system case lighting and case cooling options. For example, we have our new H100 CPU cooler in here, which is Corsair Link digital compatible. It means that it can be fully connected and controlled by Corsair Link and monitored as well. We also have dual fans on the H100. We have LED strips in here that are connected to the Corsair Link lighting node that allows us to change lighting based on our personal preferences or on temperature or any other kind of criteria. We have all the case fans are attached to Corsair Link as well. The Corsair Link kits come with cooling node, which is the fan controller, and the Corsair Link commander, which looks like this and fits in a hard drive tray. It's an aluminum box and it has some connectors here and cables. The Corsair Link lighting and cooling node is the next one, and it's the same thing as the cooling node, but it adds the Corsair Link lighting control kit. So the lighting node gives you the ability to do RGB LED lighting, and it comes with 3 of the strips. We've only got 2 installed here for our own use. So once you've installed it all and connected it all up, you can kind of go ahead and in the background you can change the system image to any case that you have. We even included some kind of generic templates for, you know, power supply on top, power supply on bottom, inverted ATX, stuff like that. I'm not going to change this right now because I've already got it set up the way I want for the demo. But you can basically drag these fans wherever you want. So the H100 fans we have up top, which is where they're currently located, as well as the LED that's attached to them. We have the H100 pump, which is right here. The H100 temp is the coolant temp inside the H100. CPU1 temp is the CPU core temp. And then we have 2 NVIDIA graphics cards here, GPU1 and GPU2, which are running right now at 38 and 32C. And then our hard drive fan, the temp there is an SSD, so it's incorrect. It shows up as 120 degrees C, but that's not actually what an SSD runs at. So what I've done here is you drag these items from the devices to the groups. So for example, this is my H100 fan, and normally it will show up here in the devices tab. And by putting it in the devices tab, I can determine what group I want it to be controlled by. So basically you have any temperature group you want, you can select any fan that's attached to Corsair Link and say, this is the temperature that controls that fan. So the benefit would be in a standard chassis where you have an intake fan, or here where you have this intake fan, I can say, when this graphics card gets hot, turn this intake fan up and turn this exhaust fan up and get that airflow going through the case. So unlike you know, motherboard control or something like that where you're limited to whatever the BIOS can set as far as a duty cycle goes, these also let you change any temperature instead of just, you know, hey, when the overall ambient temp of my motherboard gets higher, turn the fans up. And also it lets you have much more control. Standard motherboard BIOSes are duty cycle, like PWM duty cycle, or just standard DC voltage regulation. This is a true PWM, which allows you to set the RPM to the 10 RPM. So if you can want 2010 or 2020 or 1950 RPM, you can set that and it will run the fan at that speed. So what I'm going to do here is drag the H100 fan to CPU1 temp group. Both fans are going to be there. I'm also dragging this LED there. I've set it to cycle temperature from blue to green to red. I've also set the fan to a custom control profile. And what I'll do now is run a torture test on the CPU. And as the CPU goes higher, this LED here will change in color and the fans will go up in RPM. So once it gets up to a certain point, those fans will start picking up and you should see it go up significantly. Here we go. So now the CPU temp, which was set at 39 to be 100% red. So once it gets to 39C, you can see the LED went 100% red, and both fans are at max. If I want to, now I just go in here and cancel this, and the load goes away, the cooling goes down, the temp goes down, lighting changes, fans get quiet right away. And that's fully customizable. You can set your own fan curves if you have Corsair Link. If you don't have Corsair Link, this little button will change on H100 and H80 from low to medium to high, which is kind of a predefined curve we've decided. But if you have Corsair Link, you can customize that exactly how you want. You have a 5-point curve, and you can say, you know what, don't ever go above 1200 RPM, or you know what, don't ever go below 1500 RPM. And that's the full control that you just can't get without it. So that's what Corsair Link does, and that's why it's pretty awesome.
Good. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.